Greetings, 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 good people. I'm back. Okay. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are not, welcome back, Royal Family. All right. So let's just get straight into today's hot topics. Right. So, first up, ladies and gentlemen, there is a new app out, a women only app called T. And this new app lets women warn each other about men in their city. Okay, I heard about this earlier. I saw some talks about this on Twitter. So I had to come over to Instagram and see what's good. And our good folks over there at Complex basically summarizes and breaks this down. So T is a woman only app where users can anonymously share information and warnings about men to help each other spot red flags. So the app lets women post reviews, stories, and advice about men they've dated or met, creating a space to keep each other safe and aware. It also offers safety tools like phone number lookups and background checks. Men aren't allowed to join, which makes it a private community for women to speak freely. Now, like with most things, okay, this seems like a great idea and a great concept. So most things usually start out pretty good. But then you have those few kinks that need to be worked out, or you got a few people who usually come around and just mess things up for everyone. So let's get into some of these comments. One person said, I feel sorry for the man who get posted on that app due to a bitter ex. And this was the first thing that I thought about before I even seen these comments. I said to myself, what if somebody wants to be vengeful or someone is mad and then they straight up lie about someone? I wonder if you are lied on this app. Well, then again, the men won't know, right? Because it's women only. So you can't even file a defamation lawsuit. I don't know. This seems like a good idea. I can understand the concept of trying to keep women safe and women looking out for each other. Like I said, great, great, great. But what happens when someone abuses the platform? So I guess this is what the app looks like when you search it up. Someone says the guys who treat women like ish are in shambles. Okay. Another person, finally, an app where vibes get peer reviewed. Okay. And that's just Complex basically trying to market their products. What do you guys think about this T app? Okay. I don't know. I just see this becoming a problem. I see it becoming problematic down the line because honesty is some people struggle with honesty, and then you have a lot of people who are vengeful and liars straight up. And I don't know. I'm curious to see where this goes. Up next, former president, still president to some, Barack Obama. Okay. So here's the thing. For whatever reason, Cheeto 4547 can't keep Barack Obama's name out of his mouth. Okay. So former President Barack Obama, he issues a statement finally condemning Trump for accusing him of treason. If you guys have been paying attention to what's going on politically, then you know that Cheeto 4547 recently did an interview where he sat down, he was answering questions. Basically, he didn't tell us anything that we needed to know, most of us, because everybody wants him to release those files, and anything outside of that is nothing but a distraction, in my opinion, and in many others' opinion as well. So he accused Obama of treason, of interfering with the election back in 2016 or 2020, 2016, whatever election it was. And Barack Obama issued a statement. I really wish he wouldn't have, but this statement was provided by his assistant, or his spokesperson, I should say, not his assistant. And it reads, out of respect for the office of the presidency, our office does not normally dignify the constant nonsense and misinformation flowing out of this White House with a response. But these claims are outrageous enough to merit one. These bizarre allegations are ridiculous and a weak attempt at distraction. Bingo. This is nothing but a distraction. It's Cheetos swollen cankles. It's let's change the name back to Washington Redskins. It's something about Kamala Harris. Then you're talking about Joe Biden. It's nothing but distraction, distraction, distraction. So the statement goes on to say nothing in the document issued last week undercuts the widely accepted conclusion that Russia worked to influence the 2016 presidential election, but did not successfully manipulate any votes. These findings were affirmed in a 2020 report by the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee led by then Chairman Marco Rubio. I wish if, being that he clapped back, Obama, that is, he should have only issued a statement with these 3 words: release those files. That's it. That's all. But you guys know that Obizi is a classy based, dignified man. So he gave a professional yet stern and blatantly obvious response. So good for you clapping back. I'm telling you, every time I turn, when I don't try to follow what's going on with this Cheeto 4547. Whenever something comes up, it's always something so absolutely positively ridiculous. And again, it's a distraction. And he always has Obama's name in his mouth. And it's like, it's borderline, not even borderline, it's obsessive. And it kind of makes me wonder if he has early onset dementia. Listen, last time he was in the White House, I thought he had dementia. But moving along, up next, our auntie Wendy Williams, may not be an auntie to some, because I know some of y'all don't like her. Did y'all catch Tyson Beckford on the Breakfast Club recently? I'll get into that in another video. Anyway, Wendy Williams, okay, her legal team is ready to sue, okay, and they plan to sue the people who are responsible for her guardianship, rightfully so, okay. So while celebrating Wendy's birthday, you guys know that recently she was out. She recently turned, what, 60 or 61? She was out in New York, and there was a video circulated. I played it here on the channel in the previous video, where she was hand in hand with Suzanne, and they were getting ready to eat at one of her favorite restaurants in New York. And she also pointed out her lawyer, okay? So her attorney, Joe, made it clear that he is gearing up for a legal fight over her ongoing guardianship. He told TMZ that if their motion to end the guardianship is denied, he plans to push for a jury trial. He says, we're going to sue the people responsible for this. A jury trial? Oh, that would be so exciting. I wonder if that would be televised. Y'all think? Baby, if they have that trial in NYC, that is going to be a big freaking deal, okay? Now, there have been several attempts made, to my understanding, to end Wendy Williams' guardianship, and they have been unsuccessful, obviously. Interesting. This is going to be interesting. Can y'all imagine if this goes to trial? So the article goes on to say, if you recall, Wendy Williams has been under a court-ordered guardianship since 2022 after her bank, Wells Fargo, raised concerns about her mental state and possible financial exploitation. Wendy denies being cognitively impaired and has expressed frustration over her lack of freedom. Now, I talked about this. Yes, I did a video previously. And one of the comments that was in the comment section stated something that I agree with. And it stated that Wendy Williams should have a guardianship that dignifies her. And I thought that that was absolutely brilliant. And I agree. It's obvious that she is suffering from some sort of impairment, okay, mentally, cognitively, okay. It may not be as severe, I guess, as it's being reported. However, these things tend to progress. So if she has any form of dementia, it is something that can progress. So some may think that she shouldn't have a guardian right now, but what if later on down the line she needs one? So I just think that maybe they should really kind of look into what type of assistance she needs, what type of help she needs, because she's obviously going to need some help. Wendy Williams is drastically different than most of us remember her when she was on her show. We started to see the decline. I saw the decline. It was absolutely terrible to watch in real time. We saw her literally declining on television, and the production company thought, for whatever reason, let's keep her on. But knowing Wendy, she probably was the one that was like, nope, nope, I'm going on. Let's film. Let's film. Who knows? I hope that she gets proper guardianship if a guardianship is necessary. If they can prove that, hey, listen, her cognitive function is declining and she can have someone who is honest, then I'm not against it. As long as she's not feeling like she's imprisoned or treated inhumanely. Okay? Remember, everybody wanted Britney Spears to be out of her guardianship, rightfully so. But look at cousin Britney. I saw her the other day twirling around with a cigarette in her mouth, dancing to a Janet Jackson song in her drawers. So I don't know. I just want whatever. I hope that whatever is in her best interest is what is done for Wendy Williams. All right. Sean Carter's up next. Jay-Z. Anybody else tied to this story? Man, listen, no shade to Rymir. I'm tired of this story. I am sick and tired of this story. But as a news lady, I got to keep you guys abreast of what's going on. So Jay-Z's alleged, now why are they calling him a secret love child? Jay-Z's alleged secret, this is actually disgusting. Let me stop laughing, because now that I think about it, remember, it is rumored that his mother was either 15 or 16 years old and he was in his early 20s. That's what's being alleged, right? So secret love child? No. Jay-Z's alleged child has a history of court complaints, okay? So let's get into this article really quickly. Jay-Z, he wants to be done giving attention to this alleged child, Rymir, well, however you say his name. The rapper noted in his latest filing that his accuser should not be taken seriously, as his ability to file any new complaints in New Jersey was restricted years ago, okay? Jay-Z has remained on Rymir's radar, for years, insisting that he had a relationship with his underage mother decades ago, which led to his birth. Okay. He has since requested a DNA test, that's Rymir, which the rapper is vehemently opposing. Now, again, in this particular instance, Rymir is 30-something odd years old. Jay-Z is 50-something odd years old. Can he be forced to take a DNA test? I understand now, thank you to those who clarified that, yes, a DNA test can be forced in matters of, like, child support and things like that. But this guy is an adult, though. I'm curious. Obviously, if the judge demands him to take the test, he's probably going to fight tooth and nail. So if the judge demands him to take the test, then obviously that answers my question. But it doesn't appear that the judge is demanding that Jay-Z take the test. He is demanding Jay-Z respond to the filings. Okay, so we shall see. The article goes on. The music executive informed the court in a new document demanding the dismissal of his why do they keep putting love child in here, of his alleged child's lawsuit, that he had no legal right to file anything in the first place. Okay. Now, according to Jay-Z, Rymir's new lawsuit was an attempt to circumvent the 2022 injunction, which instructed him and his caregiver not to file any new complaints in New Jersey without the court's authorization. So an injunction was basically, stop filing these lawsuits. You can't file no more in New Jersey. Okay. So that injunction was implemented, in 2022. So it's safe to say that he's filing this lawsuit in New Jersey. So he had to have gotten court authorization first before he can file. And apparently Jay-Z's findings is that he did not do that. So Rymir's attempts to overturn the injunction in his favor have failed on 2 separate occasions, a situation Jay-Z is now using as reinforcement to counter Rymir's legal move. This is really a battle. So it's not that Jay-Z is not answering it. It's, I guess, we're just not privy to what's going on behind the scenes. And not too many people on mainstream media, I could say, are really talking about this in detail. You have some investigative reporters right here on YouTube. I like to call them investigative reporters, rightfully so, right? Have gotten access to documents, and they're going over those documents. Bravo. All right, the article continues. According to the Rock Nation executive, on numerous occasions in the past, Rymir, his late mother, and his caretakers' false assertions have been rejected by several courts. As noted by Radar Online, Jay-Z requested that Rymir be ordered to cover all his legal expenses in the case. Jay-Z requested that Rymir be ordered to cover all his being Jay-Z's legal expenses or his own legal expenses. In 2020, the 2022 injunction referenced by Jay-Z was bizarre news to Rymir and his attorney. In his lawsuit filed in federal court, he claimed ignorance of any injunction and insisted that he had not been served. So Rymir is saying that him and his lawyer have no idea about this injunction. They didn't know. I call BS. What are you paying your lawyer for? Is your lawyer really a lawyer? Of course he was privy to the injunction. That doesn't make any sense. But all the orders of, this is what Rymir's response is, but all the orders from New Jersey regarding judges are in the appeals court since they were derived from fraud. Wow. To block our due process, which showed Jay-Z's wrongdoings of allegations of perjury. Rymir accused the rapper of engaging in an intimate relationship with his mother in the 90s, and he committed fraud alongside his legal team in several courts, all in a bid to invalidate his story. In his filing, Jay-Z noted that the true identity of Rymir's father had been revealed with an order to the alleged father to pay up child support. Now, it's something fishy going on. He accusing Jay-Z of fraud now within this lawsuit. Rymir and his family's first intuition was definitely not to bring publicity and attention to the paternity back and forth. As shared by The Blast, it was the rapper's refusal to take a private paternity test on multiple occasions that led them to voice out and go the legal route. I remember Rymir saying that he doesn't want any child support. He doesn't want any money. I mean, would he be owed back child support? Y'all think? Y'all think the judge would make Jay-Z pay child support if he does indeed take the test and it's found out that Rymir is his son? A source close to the aggrieved party, Dr. Little Coley, shared that if Jay-Z had adhered to the terms and solutions that Rymir's family offered, the matter would have been resolved discreetly. Yeah, right. I'm sure y'all would have blasted that all over the internet. Okay. The family had reportedly gone through countless hoops to get the paternity test out of the way, but the opposition they have encountered has not made it an easy journey. The accuser's mom reportedly left a video recording of her experience with Jay-Z and a confirmation that Rymir is his son before she died in 2016. Video? Wow. She reportedly consented to a paternity test to affirm or debunk her story. However, the deeper story may be behind why Jay-Z is so determined to block a paternity test from taking place. As noted by Rymir's grandmother, Rymir's mother was very much a minor when she engaged in relations with Jay-Z, who was an adult at the time, and this revelation could spell doom for his reputation. Well, where you was at, mama? Anyway, now's not the time. Rymir and his legal team were not the only ones with whom Jay-Z picked a bone. In 2024, as 2024 prepared to round up Busby, you guys heard about Busby, filed a lawsuit against the rapper on behalf of his client, the unidentified woman that accused Jay-Z, and she also accused Sean Diddy Combs of being hands-on with her as an underage girl at a party in the 2000s. By February 2025, Busby and his client, they dropped the case with prejudice, which means they cannot file again in the future. However, in May, the blast noted that Jay-Z broke his silence in the aftermath of the case and Busby's unethical move against him. So he basically claimed that this part of the article goes on to say that Jay-Z basically claims that he found, I guess through investigation or what have you, his lawyers or whoever investigated that Tony Busby and people that worked for him went onto his Wikipedia page, Tony Busby's Wikipedia page, to try to like beef up his reputation. What a waste of money. Why did you have your lawyers do that? So basically they tracked the IP address, and the IP address was linked to Busby's firm, and he made over 100 positive edits to the people at his firm. He's accused, saying that they made over 100 positive edits to Tony Busby's Wikipedia page. And Jay-Z is saying that the act was reportedly done with ill intention toward Jay-Z's legacy and to enhance Busby's professional reputation. So you spent money, Jay-Z, to have your legal team track IP addresses with information that allegedly Tony Busby's employees enhance his Wikipedia page to make him look good as a lawyer. That's what you spent your money on? All right, we're getting ready to wrap this up, y'all. This is getting kind of long. In more exciting news, the rapper brushed his legal battles aside to join his wife on her electrifying Cowboy Carter tour in honor of her 8th Grammy Award-winning studio album, Cowboy Carter. We don't care about that. Not in this sense. No shade, Beyonce. That was such a dumb use of money. Why the heck would you spend money to have people digging into people's IP addresses to see? Wikipedia is not 100% accurate from my understanding. And people, I don't know how it is now, but I remember that anybody, if you have an account, you can update things on Wikipedia. Why the heck is that relevant to this case? What lawyer wouldn't want to make themselves look good? Hello? Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to drop down in the comments and share your thoughts about any of these topics that were discussed today, okay? Do you think that Jay-Z is going to lose this lawsuit? Are you tired of hearing about Jay-Z and Rymir and this paternity test? Do you think Rymir should just give it up and let it go? If Jay-Z does take a paternity test and it's found out that Rymir is his son, do you think a judge will make him pay back child support? Also, if Jay-Z takes a DNA test and it's found out that Rymir is not his son, do you think Jay-Z should sue for harassment? Something to think about. Something to think about. What do you think about Miss Wendy Williams and her legal team getting ready to sue the pants off of whoever was responsible for putting her in that horrible guardianship? I kind of want it to go to jury trial. Because I don't know. I just want to see what information. That's when you find out the real tea, like when everything comes out. All of the evidence, documents, proof of everything. I don't want it to go to jury trial because then that'll be too much for Wendy. But I kind of do because I want all the scoop. I want all the tea to be revealed. How the heck could this have happened to her? What was the real cause? All right, y'all. If you made it to the end of the video, I thank you tremendously for sticking it out with me to the end. For all of you who are new to the royal family, welcome to all of the new subscribers. I appreciate your kind words, and I appreciate you joining the royal family, okay? Be sure to take a look at the other videos on the channel to familiarize yourself with me, Royal B, all right? And I want you to drop down in the comments, like I said, and share your thoughts. All right, I'm signing off. I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.